to do. You put the preparation in for both sides here to plan for this map here, or maybe you're taking away a map of someone that they didn't really want to play on, playing into people's weaknesses, you could say. So I think theme park is going to be a wild card tonight, though. But I think both teams are going to adjust. You're in the Premier League for a reason, so you're up here. You got the spot, so you might as well showcase your skills, your ability to adapt.
Absolutely. And only time will tell exactly how these two teams are going to adapt mid game, mid round, mid all of the action we're going to see. And we're not going to have to wait much longer to see the action. We're going to get right into our game in just a moment. Boise State, Michigan Tech going head to head. Let's talk a little bit about their regular season performance as we get into this one. Both of these teams had a little bit of a lackluster performance in the regular season. They both went 1-2. They weren't feeling so great, and they did not perform to the level that Michigan Tech, at least I know, is used to from their experience in the CEA Invite League over in our other sister league. But for now, it is Michigan Tech that have Boise State standing in their way, and we're going to take a look at our operator bands and see who will not be played in this matchup. And lo and behold, Thatcher will not be a factor, but I got to say, Barrett, not a surprise at all.
No, definitely not whatsoever. You talk about having the EMP grenades destroying any type of gadget or thing to stop a utility dump here. So if you're banning someone, you might as well not be in the other end of an EMP grenade and have your wall, though reinforced, very vulnerable to a hard breacher in that moment. So I am very excited for this. And we see another common ban come out here with Jackal being taken away to maybe stop those or to allow those roamers to be in a pesty area in order to float around and stop these attackers. So, and that is just another part of playing into strengths here. Maybe we see a target there, but we're going to see Mira off the board as well. Everything is okay with Mira. I mean, as of course, taking her off the board is important. But an interesting one on the final is that Pulse, if I see right. That is interesting to me. Of course, Pulse has the Nitro Cell to throw up to deter any attacker, but wasn't really expecting to see Pulse taking or making an appearance on the ban phase.
Yeah, Pulse Ban is a rare one, but one that Boomer was not a fan of. It does appear that Boise State did their homework. They know Boomer likes to rock with that FBI Pulse operator who has those pseudo wall hacks that the heartbeat scanner enables you to have. So we're not going to see him played. We're not going to see his UMP played, but Castle is on the table. That UMP is in play, and Sheer will be bringing that one out from Boise State as we get into our first defense. Boise State will be electing to defend Armory and Throne Room.
Yeah, and we're gonna see an interesting bit of we saw last match, different rosters being brought out, of course. I know it was a target ban to get rid of Pulse, but I wasn't really expecting to see it taken away here. Of course, now you have basically an ability to kind of roam really now as an attacker, or at least not worry about being your position being revealed from an operator on the other side. So right now, it's going to be a very interesting point here as we see the extension already from initiation. We see Boomer in the chat throwing up some playful taunt in there. That's really funny. But yeah, so it's going to be an extension here of waiting room and initiation room to ensure that when you're in Throne and Armory that you don't want to give up the second floor. Second floor basically control. That way, in the event that they do have a fuse, or as in this case, they have a sledge to prevent sight lines being shot down on you if you are anchoring in the site.
Yeah, that vertical play is so important, and that is why we're not only seeing a good bit of utility, but a good bit of operators as well. You've got Fox upstairs. You've got Danny upstairs, and these are going to be crucial operators to help this hold, because you've got those mute jammers. So suppressive when it comes to the intel game, trying to deny Michigan Tech from gaining any information exactly what utility they're facing on that vertical extension, exactly who is playing up there, and how many the operators are they going to have to deal with on this vertical clear? And part of any good vertical hold is using that vertical play to your advantage as well, because there's no need to clear the vertical if the defenders aren't using it to the best of their ability, and opening up that floor with the M590, as we just saw Danny do, is going to do exactly that. If you got a sight line down, you can help out your anchors as the pressure mounts. But the pressure is mounting directly onto Fox for the time being. This is TKLV pressuring on here as the sledge. But Fox is going to exchange some shots back and forth. Nobody landing the fatal blow. Nobody landing even one bullet. But the frag grenade will be cooked, tossed on through, and Fox will finally feel a little bit of that heat. But it's the heat from Chibbles, which is going to get shut down early. Ultra Set finds the Nitro Cell kill. So 90 seconds in, Michigan Tech has made, or at least now the disadvantage in their favor, Boise State has made their presence felt.
Yeah, and I think right now you take away your ability to now have basically double swings here. You still have the 4v5, but right now taking the ace off the board is huge. Though that exterior wall is open right here in maintenance, it's not good enough as we see CJ and Boomer maybe get tied up here as the Yana drone is going to run in here, kind of shifting the metas right now as we see Yana being played a little bit more than usual ever since she has come back, or as she's made her appearance here into the CR6. But right now, going to be making an entry into sight here. All they have to do is really get a plant off. Ultra Set, though, I think he's going to have to hear this. TKLV is going to take down Fox, so evening up the manpower. Oh my goodness, and Boomer is going to kill someone, but he's going to get killed right away as Ultra Set, who was waiting there. CJ is going to kill Ultra Set, and I have to imagine the diffuser is going to be going down now, as Sherb is going to be taking some bullets, and he is going to go down next. So Red getting the pressured mounted, but right now Danny is left next to himself here as the plant is going to go down from CJ, but Danny is left here just to basically wean away the attack. Of course, he's going to come in from the other way. Has sight on him, but the flick is going to be too mighty as he has left down to no health, little of no health, and the time is ticking away. TKLV throwing out a grenade. It does not connect. Danny looking to have to basically have a flawless run here of a re-entry to enter back into the site. And he does get one. Red goes down. Yana drone is out. He does get a TKLV, so pressure is mounting, but that does not matter as CJ puts an end to that as they are going to take round one for Michigan Tech.
Oh, well, a brilliant effort from Danny, but it could not be enough. There was not enough time in the post plant, and there was not simply enough playing there, enough opportunity at least for Danny to make that one happen. The attackers shut that retake down as it was getting underway. A good effort, but it was Michigan Tech who prevailed in round number one, and an attacking win on Theme Park are very hard to come by. And so coming by that first attacking round win in round number one, and one that did not look like it was very closely contested, is a very good sign for Michigan Tech. You've got one round under your belt, and having those attacking rounds are very impressive on Theme Park. This is the most defensive-sided map in the competitive map pool. Often we will see this go for a 5-to-1 split on the defensive side, and that not being surprising whatsoever. So seeing Michigan Tech decisively take a round off of Boise State's defense early on bodes very well for the Michigan Brethren and bodes very well for their future hopes as the second round of their attack will get underway shortly.
Yes, and you mentioned how defensive heavy this map is. The key point of that last round was the ace was still able to distribute the Selma charges on from maintenance into sight, which was allowing a pathway for the attacking team to plant the diffuser and get picks on the unknowing defending team, at least on the other side of throne room there. So very good job by them. Gonna see some key placement here with the Valcam. That's a cheeky spot. But right now, I think you have to be happy right now if you are Michigan Tech. But Boise State, you can't be weary just yet. This is a defense-heavy map, though it is tough to give one up right now. All you gotta do is recover, come back and show everyone why you're here. And both teams, didn't have the seasons that they wanted, but right now, nevertheless, they're in the playoffs, and it doesn't matter who you play. You just have to matter if you can beat them. So right now, we're gonna start off here with round two, and everyone's gonna look to get a win for their side.
Yeah, and I love what the point you mentioned with that early aggression, that early, all you have to do is come out and get a win and you're moving on in the playoffs. You're moving right on through to your next matchup. And no matter if it was a huge upset, no matter how favored the other team was to beat you, as I think Michigan Tech might be the favorites here, it is a big deal and you can make that presence felt very early on and just run away with it, even if the difference in skill level, the difference in the two teams is pretty big. But that's not the case here. Both of these teams seem to be relatively evenly matched. The gun skill impressive from both of these teams at least. And we're going to see how the attack and the strategy from both of these rosters is going to unfold as the attack on this dorms and daycare site is going to have to come underway soon. About 90 seconds, nearing the burn off the clock here. And this pressure from the east side appears to be the attacker focus. One at this site generally yields itself to most frequent east side pushes because initiation, all these buffer rooms in your way, and you want to establish that map control. And as such, we are seeing Michigan Tech do exactly that. And Fox from Boise State will be the first line of defense to deal with that take.
Yeah, read my mind again, Jay-Z. You're right. All these attacks usually come from the east like that because of so many rooms. You're able to work around. You're able to create an angle on the defense. We're going to see Red here pushing on Fox. So Fox not going to be the line of defense. Proximity mine, or I'm sorry, proximity thing is going to go off. Can't get the name for that right away. But Danny's now left in a tough position, as his position might be known, maybe not. Proximity is going to go off, and he's going to miss the shot. He's going to get the shot on Ash. Okay, but he's going to run into an attacker. So the refrag after refrag here, but it's going to be a 4v3 in favor of Michigan Tech. But right now, they still have to get going here because they have 30 seconds left. The diffuser is nowhere in a position to be planted just yet, and Sherb is going to be holding angles from multiple positions here to deter this attack. It's going to be tough here, but right now, interior walls are going to be exploding. Sherb's going to get a pick on Chibbles. Oh, and it's going to be just missed. Sherb's going to go down here, so Michigan Tech raining down. But a double kill from Juco is going to even things up here as he is left. So it's going to be a 2v2. The diffuser has got to get down, and it's going to be planted with 1 second left on the clock. But unfortunately for Michigan Tech, a knife is going to come out from Juco as he's going to end the round with a 4K as Michigan Tech falls to Boise State as they tie it up 1-1.
Well, Juco not only getting that 4K, but finding the head of his teammate as well. So keeping things spicy, keeping things loose, just the way you'd like to see it. Only a 3K actually from Juco. That one kill that we talked about, that 4K, that pseudo 4K, was actually found on the head of a teammate, like I just said. So a little bit of a team kill going in there, but nonetheless, Boise State, they found a defensive victory on that secondary bomb site. And not willing to head back to Throne Room and Armory, it is going to be Initiation and Office, the next bomb site. Now, this particular site is such an interesting one to defend. And the reason is because it's smack in the middle of the top floor. And the problem with holding this down is the attackers can approach from all sides. They can do the typical east side take that we just saw Michigan Tech do, or they can do the west side take. They can push in from the daycare side. They can take control of top arcade, break room, push on ahead, and get an attack on the site from there. Usually we will see teams go for one side of the approach and not both, but both is also a distinct possibility. You establish your crossfire on one of these sites, particularly this office side, by opening cache wall and the wall facing yellow corridor, and you've got a brilliant crossfire and a hard crossfire to deal with. This is why we often see teams elect to go to that quaternary bomb site, lab downstairs on the first floor adjacent to Throne Room and Armory, because simply that can be sometimes a better option if your defense for this tertiary bomb site isn't quite working for you middle of the map. And well, it's only round 3. We don't know exactly what Michigan Tech has in store for this particular attack, nor do we know how Boise State is going to set it up. But early indicators are it's simply going to be a large amount of that on-site pressure from our 3 core anchors. Fox and Danny will be taking up a loose roam.
Yeah, and you mentioned the ability to go downstairs and opting to stay up here in a site that can be attacked from multiple angles, can be broken down. The defense can be taken down as we see at least 3 operators on top here as they try to get vertical control here as they're already on the second floor with the drone. But You're right. I think they have to trust themselves, though, if you're Boise
Attackers have
State, to
located a bomb.
know, okay, hey, this is where you want to be. As we've seen, the Yana has been brought out every time, so I think Sherb has opted to go with the mute. Of course, that's going to be a counter because a drone can't really run through a mute jammer, so that's not really how that works. But right now, I think you have to. There isn't really any. There is well, actually one. We see Danny on the bottom there being kind of a roamer, but I think you have to trust yourself here if you're Boise State, and if you're Michigan Tech, you have to understand, like, hey, this is early, and anything can really happen.
Yeah, anything can happen. There's still ample time to work with, and both of these teams are simply scrambling around and looking to get some headway, looking to get a pick, and looking to spur things forward. We see Juco and Sherb very antsy on the site, worried exactly where this attacking pressure is coming from, and it looks like to be coming from the east. You've got TK, Boomer, and Chibbles working their way in from this security side, the control room side, and Juco on the other side of things will be delivering red to his early grave. TK not able to find much, but Juco able to find a double kill. Only 3 attackers remain. Juco, a triple now. 2 more to find, and he is on for an ace. Chibbles is going to make that tougher by removing Danny from play. Only 4 defenders remain, but only 2 attackers left to conquer it all. TK is going to throw some nades in, looking to find any defenders positioned here, and Chibbles pressuring from the complete other side. Surprising we're seeing them work so far apart, but smartly Chibbles is going to start rotating around to help the teammate, the Sledge, who's now taking increasing amount of damage and will shoot out the Nitro Cell before that could send him sky high. 1 player elusive behind this initiation wall, and 1 player close. The Super Shorty going to go on through, but it's not going to deliver red to his grave, but Sherb will find another, and TK will fall. Chibbles, all that remains. Ultraset is hunting for it with the shotgun in hand, but nobody can seem to fell the thermite yet, but this one not looking too hot for Michigan Tech. 4 defenders remain, no time remains, and Chibbles will not remain either. Sherb a 2K, Joko, I believe, a 4K, and simply just incredible stuff from this defense, locking this site down.
Yeah, so they definitely knew what they were doing when they went to this site. Kind of surprised the Super Shorty didn't take out the thermite, placing the exothermic charge there. But I guess RNG Jesus was in favor of the thermite, but not for too long, as Boise State is able to basically rout out single handedly these attackers. It seemed like one by one. JUCO though, getting the 3K there, very important. Was able to deter the attackers one by one. That was ability for him. He was able to peak a little bit at a time, and that way he was able to win the round for his team.
Yeah, brilliant play from JUCO. Just some strong solo play
Attackers
that
have
shut
located and defused the
down the
bomb.
push from that Showers side, from that cash side of the attack. The office push that I said was likely to occur never even got started. Unfortunately for the attackers, they failed to get open that cash wall early on. The hard destruction wasn't there, and as such, the play behind the bomb chassis was simply the perfect place for JUCO to be hanging out, and JUCO made that position work very, very well. So 1 round is all that Michigan Tech still have after Boise State found back-to-back round wins, but now we're heading
10
back
seconds to
to
insertion.
Throne Room and Armory, the site that Boise State were unable to defend last
10
time. And
to
the
go.
reason was that Michigan Tech elected for a direct site push, a
Attackers objective
sneaky
is
play
delivered.
straight on into Throne Room without dealing with much of the vertical pressure. And because 2 of your big guns were on that top floor and rotating down a little bit too late to help the team, Michigan Tech already took site control by the time that Boise State could get back onto site to get a retake going. So this time, the question is Michigan Tech going to undertake the very similar
Attackers have located a
strategy of a
bomb.
direct site push, or are we going to see a methodical top-down clear?
Yeah, and the area I want to focus on this round at least is that maintenance wall, the wall that connects maintenance and the throne room. But right now, it looks like they're going to be going to the other side here as the drones are placed out there. That was the reason Michigan Tech won that round on attack. Though this is a defender heavy map, if you're able to breach at least 1 point here, getting that wall from maintenance is so huge because yes, there's usually a person playing behind the throne room, but once you establish control there, it's almost impossible to retake it as a defender because there are so many. You just have so much cover there as an attacker. So we're going to see Danny. Oh, very close here. Red is going to walk almost into the sight of Danny here. Bullets from TKLV are going to scare him. Oh, he knows now. The drones has totally helped him and saved his life there as Red takes care of Danny. Very good work there by Michigan Tech in order to get intel for Red to basically save his life. But right now, as we're going to see, Fox is going to be holding up in small positions here. But right now, you just want to maybe take care of the roamers. They Michigan Tech is already taking care of one, but right now you have I don't believe anyone has walked back to site. But right now you just have to worry about that one last roamer there. But I think you're going to be a-okay if you are Michigan Tech or if you are Boise State.
Well, they are A-okay, but you've lost Danny. You've lost your mute. Of course, you've got the time on your side that does help, but with the ceiling above you being entirely Swiss cheese by the breaching hammer, that's going to be ever harder to hold down this site. Doesn't seem to be too hard for JUCO to find another kill and to continue to light up that scoreboard on the Wamai. Incredible stuff so far from JUCO, and now that will equalize us in that 4v4 equal man count. Chibble's looking to find something. The frag grenade going to rain true, but one player, that's going to be Sherb, who will escape unscathed. Now Red pressuring from the Dragon Door will be looking to find something, but no, it's going to be shut down cleanly by the 416 wielder. Fox will have it. Chibble's down. 2 attackers remain. And with 4 hungry defenders, they suspect there's a downed player over there in barrels, and they are going to deliver him to the grave if they're not careful. TK finds one, will pad the KD, finishing off Fox, but is it too little too late? You only have 10 seconds left, and the diffuser is on the ground. TK finds JUCO, Sherb finds Chibbles, a 2v2 now. Sherb looking for something, but denied. 2 seconds left, the diffuser has to go down, and the team will prevail if they were aggressive enough, and Michigan Tech were. They pushed into sight. Who cares about the diffuser? Just frag out in those closing seconds. But boy, oh boy, did it come down to the absolute wire.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about seconds left on the clock. No diffuser. Forget it. They said we don't need to plant. We don't need to plant the diffuser. We'll just kill everyone. That'll be totally fine. And they did just that. So twice now. And we talked about that Armory and Throne being one of the strongest sites. I think you can make an argument for on this map. Michigan Tech is able to take care of it twice. Once planting the diffuser, once with frags. But those exterior walls from maintenance and I'm not entirely sure the other name of the other room on that other exterior wall, but they were able to break those open, and those right there are the keys right now to winning there. Yes, getting the vertical control and killing Danny early was huge, but those two walls being blown open are the main reasons they're winning that side.
I think that is a great point, and we saw them just really reshape their attacking pressure compared to the first time. It was a completely different attack, it seemed. Of course, they still had that aggressiveness. They had the same tenacity we saw from them in round number 1, but the difference there is they took a much more methodical approach. They dealt with the top-down pressure. They applied the vertical pressure once the pressure was dealt with above, and then they just rained it on through into sight, sent their people down on that first floor, and found the frags. It was dicey, and Boise State looked like they had the advantage in a large part of that round, but you're not here to prove actually who is the overall more strategic team or the better team. You're here to win the game. And if it takes a fluke of a round or a unique occurrence here or there to make it happen, well, you will absolutely take those.
Yeah, it's interesting play here. We see CJ coming with the Amaru, not really showcased a lot when you play CR6 here, or at least in my experience casting. So awesome to see a unique character brought in to the matches here. But overall, I think you have to wonder, 2v2 here, defense heavy. If you're Boise State, are you concerned how you're feeling right now? Like, are you going to be able to contain Michigan Tech in these attacking moments?
Well, those moments seem so fleeting now as 1 minute has now found its way off of the clock, and the attackers are still trying to gain as much information as possible. Once again, we are seeing them change up their attacking approach. This time they will be attacking daycare and bunks again, but they're not going to come at it from the east side. They're going to enter through cafe and try to get this direct pressure onto the site as soon as possible. starting to open this wall, use a bit of that soft breach utility that red wields, will start to mount the pressure, but it will also telegraph their intent. And now Boise State will be fully aware of where this push is coming from, and they will reposition as a result. And the player watching the hatch is smart enough to not back off that angle despite the pressure mounting from Cafe. And with that, CJ finds one. Sherb will respond by taking down red, and Chibbles will hit the floor. CJ has something to say about that as Juco, the extreme fragger we've seen so far in this round, will be cut down and relegated to camera duty. Only 6 players now remain on this map, but 3 for each of these teams, and 6 hungry players looking to remain stalwart on this site are those anchors. But you've got Danny on the flank, and you've got Boomer going for the defuse. It was a little bit of a bait, as he's going to back off and retain position here, and Danny not able to connect the headshot with the SMG-11 will allow Boomer to escape his early fate. Now the push comes in. Ultraset delivers one as Boomer hits the floor, and TK is all on his lonesome. Has 3 to find, or is going to try to go for a res. Baits the res, but ends up getting himself killed. As Sherb, the double kill lines up, and Boise State have another round.
Yeah, just so we talked about JUCO being so good on defense, Sherb says, "Hey, I can do this too." A different round, but a different person carrying the weight of the team. As we see Sherb getting, I think a 3K there, in order to deter the Michigan Tech attacking team. Going back with the Amaru, I wonder if this is going to be 6th pick. All she really did was hastily make it to the roof, which I mean I know you're shaving seconds and you want to keep the tempo going, but interesting pick there to say the least. Maybe I don't understand it. I'm obviously not playing in the Premier League, so I don't know. But we'll see how this goes. But it's 3-2 in favor of Boise State. But if you're Michigan Tech, you got to be happy you're within one round on an attack heavy. I'm sorry, a defender heavy map.
Attackers need to locate and
Yeah,
defend
this
the bomb.
defender heavy map is not as heavy as we expected it to be, at least, but it is still Boise State in the lead, and they continue to look strong. They continue to apply the pressure to this attack, and they could possibly go ahead in that 4-2 split if Michigan Tech aren't careful here. And of course, this is not T1, it's not Pro League, so those average round splits and how defensive sided this map can be, it will not be the same here at the collegiate level. Things are always going to be different. I mean, just last night, we saw attacker-sided Oregon and an attacker-sided Cafe. That's not something you normally say or predict is going to happen. So not all the stats are going to come true in every single matchup we have in front of us. It's just something we like to reference. We like to refer to that as a guiding point for your round economy and where those rounds are even more important to find. We look at our scoreboard here and we see Sherb and Juco, the big players right now, on the supporting roles, which is surprising. But the big guns right now for Boise State, proving that, yeah, they may be a flex or they may be a support anchor, but they can still click on some heads.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, I mean, you have to, I mean, this is what you need, especially in playoffs. Like, you need your players to step up and compete. Sometimes you need something a little bit special. And right now, Juco and Sherb have done their jobs. Not saying the other team hasn't, but right now they've done a little bit extra bit of special play there, clicking on heads, getting the frag that you want. But at the end of the day, it's all about getting the frags and kills, as we saw earlier in the match there. Michigan Tech has got the result of their 2 wins basically by killing people. So at the end of the day, it's killing people, but strategy does happen to these. Also, I guess we're all just students here, Jay Z. So you're right. We use the pro sets or numbers to make references, but ultimately at the end of the day, we are all just college kids who love Rainbow Six Siege.
Well, in the case of Simon Fraser University, they're actually more than just college kids. They actually have some experience in the Canadian Pro League. There's some ex-Pro League players actually in the Open League playoffs right now. So that's something to keep an eye on. But for now, our eye will remain on this match, and it will remain on this cash push coming in from Michigan Tech. They're hoping that they can mount the pressure on this site, the pressure they were unable to properly apply the last time they attacked here. But this time you've got Red from below, who's applying those Ash breaching charge to the ceiling of that first floor and removing the hard breach denial. Your secondary hard breach gadget that the Amaru is rocking has now opened that cache wall and provided that line of sight onto offices and even onto waiting room towards initiation. And so now CJ, their job, push on up here, look for some early frags, and allow your team to cascade in behind you. Open the floodgates, per se, and pour that team on through. Fox is going to take a bit of damage and attempt to deal some, but it's Danny who makes his mark known further, finding Red. That's a headshot, and that's Red in his grave. That's another player down as Fox makes his pressure felt. Then Chike hits the grave, but CJ has an answer, as does Juco, though. Boomer is gone and out of this round. CJ and Chibbles, all that remains.
15 seconds remaining.
And we're going to see Chibbles cooking a frag here. It's going to probably connect. Oh, it just missed. Only caught a sliver of Danny. CJ is going to take down Ultraset. He's going to get taken down immediately right after. Juco is going to take down CJ. Chibbles is going to take down Danny. The Diffuser is going to go down just in the nick of time. Juco, left with very minimal health, is going to... Oh, he's going to scare the planting of the Diffuser, and the defenders are going to win. So Boise State, Juco getting it done. We talked about stepping up in big moments, but he is, he's done it all right now so far. Jay-Z, we're through 6 rounds. He's gotten the frags. He's getting crazy. But he's getting it done.
Yeah, these Boise State defenders definitely got it done on that first split. And now going into this Michigan Tech defense, we're going to have to see how they muster things here on Theme Park. But a 4-2 split is just about average. It's not a surprise to see it go in that favor. A very normal split for most maps in the map pool at this moment, at least. What's also pretty normal, at least for me to see, is Red on the Alibi. Now, while most people would say, Alibi, really? You're going to bring an Alibi into this competitive game that is really back and forth? Well, I'd tell you that Red is an Alibi player. We see Red take up this role all the time, even in the CEA Invite League Grand Finals last season versus Akron. We saw the Alibi come out. It's an operator that Red feels comfortable on, and it's an operator that does have a good amount of viability if you can play those holograms properly. Now, what I mean by that is you can't just slap them down in front of a window and hope it scares the attackers. You need to put them in a place that requires the attackers to pre-fire, that if they see even a little bit of movement, that they're going to be forced to shoot around the corner. Otherwise, it would actively be a detriment to their lives. If you can do that, you can have a great amount of free information at your fingertips, and you can use that to your advantage properly. Not to mention, a deployable shield to boot is quite a bit of good utility to bring to the table.
Yeah, and drone work is going to be very important. It always is important, of course, when you're going in and attacking in a site. Having intel is the greatest piece of gift you can give to your team. So having the Alibi, yes, bring it in, allows different variables to have the attackers worry about, especially misclicking reveals your position for a brief moment. But droning is going to be very important for Boise State, as we can already see the torch, the Maverick is going to be opening up, I believe, some torches here. Yeah, or I'm sorry, some hatches. Oh, so pre-fires from Red is going to come out. But yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting to have, or I'm sorry, very important to have Boise State drone out those alibis and make them known that they are fakes to their attacking teammate.
And now with a minute gone, you can just take a look at the drone army that is just pouring on into this top floor. It seems that Boise State has their minds set on this methodical top-down clear. And oddly enough, CJ and Red are playing on this top floor, but they're playing it a bit more withdrawn, a bit more restrained at least, and they're playing back on this west side. They're allowing this Boise State attacking team to push through, but they're not allowing them to be comfortable with this top floor control. They're giving it to them, but are they really? They're still going to be a thorn in their side, and they're an ever-present danger that is refusing to be dealt with. We see CJ there finding quite a few drones, but it's Danny who finds the first man, and Red is off the table. A nice little wallbang headshot delivered by the Nomad. CJ, without the support of the Alibi teammate, will rotate back to site and will now have to cower with the rest of these defenders as the vertical play begins.
Yes, we're going to see the vertical play already coming into effect as Boomer's going to be taking some shots, as the Sledge is going to be using his big hammer to open up sight or lines of sight for everyone. So we're going to see Ultraset Ooh, I thought we were going to see Ultra Set in the flank there. Of course, I may have misread the floor of who was on what floor, so I may have got a little too excited there. But 45 seconds remain. Boise State's got to get going here, though. They have the man advantage. Boomer is almost down to nothing. He is more than likely is going to be turtling up, because we're going to see some flashes and concussion mines, I think, happening up to in an event or in an attempt to destroy the Cade Claw. So a air jab is going to be placed up. They are I don't think they're unable to get that, so it's going to be cated away there, which is tough because they have an ace waiting to open up that external wall in Armory. So right now, your Boise State, you got to make a play here, got to get something going. Juco's going to take down Chibbles as he's opened up some portion of the wall. Boomer's going to be to his left, but I don't think he knows about it. The plant is going down. Does not matter. Juco's going to eat bullets from Boomer. CJ's going to take care of Sherb. Seconds remaining. The plant is going to be going down, but it does not matter. Boomer position unmoved. Ultra Set's going to go down. Boomer stifling the attack. And though he had very little health, Jay-Z, he had taken care of both defuse attempts twice.
Well, we talk about time management so much, Barrett, and that is exactly what the problem was right in that round for Boise State. I mean, we talked about a little bit of a more passive roam on that top floor, and while it was dealt with, it actually was not dealt with for quite a bit of time. There were 90 seconds gone before the alibi was felled, and that is a job well done. If you are playing that passive roam, all you got to do is burn the time off the clock. And when it came down to the wire, although the vertical play was established, they tried to open the wall. The impact tricking and the C4 tricking was there, and then they just could not push in the site with enough information because they didn't have the time to get that very vital information. Because of that, we saw Boomer holding close behind that wall, found multiple kills, and denied the plant from going down on 2 occasions, as you mentioned, Barrett. A brilliant defense characterized by a brilliant use of the clock. They played time, and it worked out perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, I thought they were going to maybe do a little smoke and mirrors action and present maybe the alibi again in 6 pick away. They show the vigil, and of course, instead they come back with the mute. So, good job by Michigan Tech to show that they can play a little bit of flexibility on anything. But right now, if you are Boise State, you can't be upset too much. This is a defender heavy map. You have to get going though, because we talked about time management, Jay-Z, and they really didn't get moving that fast at all. Gonna have to give great MVP kudos to the Cade Claw, the Electro Claw, because it really deterred Ace for the longest time. They threw so much utility in an attempt to destroy it, and finally did in the final attempts. But winning your gunfights, if Boomer goes down there, I really feel like that round goes in favor of Boise State.
Yeah, I think that's spot on. It's something that we're going to see. That time management, rather, is something that we're going to see play out in round number 8 as well. But it's not going to be as much of a problem for Boise State, I would assume, because not only did they have to deal with the vertical pressure last time, but then they also had to extend that pressure to that first floor. But this time, they have to deal with that extension on the top floor, but that is simply it. The bombs on the top floor, that is where you make your execute, so as long as you're efficient on your early clear, you will be okay. But right now, choosing to come from this east side is proving to be a little bit of a problem. Instead of coming in from Cafe for that direct take, they are hoping to pressure from this cache side and work their way through offices and work their way to the site and yellow that way. And CJ is going to make that even harder by finding a pick onto Danny. That's 1 frag down, and only 4 attackers now remain. CJ's on the hunt for more, sees the head of 1, but misses, and is now on the hunt, continuing to find more, but over-aggression will be the end of CJ, or at least take CJ to the down but not out stage. But with 1:15 left, and the attackers not having worked their way up even into office yet, this is a problem for Boise State, and it's something that Michigan are going to have to capitalize on. But with TK off the board and with CJ to follow, it's not going to be too easy. Red had the nitro cell onto Sherb, but is that enough in these closing minutes?
Yeah, with 54 seconds left here, you have to get the gas going here right now. Red's going to take down Fox, making this attack even harder. It's basically a 3v3 right now, as it was a trade. The shotgun pellets so were able enough to kill the final, I hell of a fox. So Boomer ultimately is going to res red here. So there is going to be a 3v2. So a gun, nevertheless, left on the board. So Chibbles, who's been playing in Vault this entire time, has had a very tough test. I wonder if the camera has been taken out. Oh, Chibbles just whiffs on a bullet, so Ace is able to take him down. Juco, again, who's been frag crazy right now, is able to take him down. But right now in the 2v2, both teams very full health. Both teams have little health right now. So here we go. 10 seconds left. Gonna have to make a move right now. Juco, the one with the defender. Oh my, I'm holding in the defense. Red whiffs on a shot. Red had the opportunity to do it. Boomer kills him, but the plant has gone down. But Juco has very little health. Boomer has all the health in the world. So if you can just hold an angle if you're Juco, that's all you can try to do. But right now, Juco holding in any spot ever. Oh, just gets missed by the... Oh, Juco missing back and forth here. Juco gonna have to do anything. Basically, he's brought the health back to the single spot that he is at. Boomer now in a position harder than ever.
Oh,
What?
no.
Juco does not just flick on him like that. I could not register what just happened. Boomer had him dead to rights, but Juco somehow whips his mouse around quick enough in order to kill Boomer. I don't even know how
Oh,
that hit.
my. That was incredible. He threw his mouse across the room. That's how far he had to flick. But he landed the shot nonetheless. Oh my word. Taking him down to 1 HP was truly the savior of that round, that early engagement going heavily in the favor of Juco there. But I mean, we saw the chat just go out and it looks like Boise State said, "You had us fooled." That's implying that Boise State was under the impression that it was actually an office initiation defense rather than a defense on that bunk and daycare side. And despite that little bit of tomfoolery, at least, that went down, Boise State found a way to take that round anyway. A round that had no business being won by the attack. The defenders had all the advantage. It was a 2v2 with 10 seconds left. As a defending team, you don't lose those. You cannot lose those. We saw a couple of blunders from Michigan Tech, a couple of really big potato aim moments that cost them the round, and I think they would absolutely agree with me on that analysis. They're definitely shaking their heads, wondering exactly how they missed on a couple of those engagements. We saw Boomer have an opportunity. We saw one other player, I believe, earlier have an opportunity, and really it came down to those small moments, just the smallest mistake, and Boise State found a way to crawl themselves back into contention.
Yeah, and I think we're going to look back on that round and whatever, so far it looks like right now Boise State, if they win here, they are definitely in the driver's seat for this map on Theme Park. But I think we're going to go look back at round 8 and think, wow, that was the round that really may have not broke the morale, but that one really hurt your chances, because think about it right now. It would have been tied up, or it would look really bad right there. Like I think it looked like me, honestly, playing Siege time from time. It happens to the best of us, of course. You're maybe in pressure moments, your heart starts beating, but forget about it. It's in the past right now. You can't think about it. But if you're Boise State, you are very grateful for that happening, as we're going to see the hatches open up above on the roof. But right now, I think you just have to focus on the next round and forget about that ever happening.
Yeah, they're going to have to do that because they're going to have to find a way to recover and build back this 2-round deficit. They're going to do so by bringing out pretty much the identical setup. We're back on Bunk and Kids, and we're back on this very heavy initiation and offices hold. Once again, it does appear that Michigan Tech are either going for that fool play, or they are simply just setting up their site in this particular way. Whether or not that is the case, Boise State still have to make this clear from this east side, because it seems that is exactly what they've elected to do. The difference here is that Michigan Tech cannot throw away the round by overcommitting to this extension. I realize if you're going to want to fool them that you're on a different bomb site, committing a lot of utility to this side makes sense, but don't die to protect an area of the map that's not the bomb site if the time is so limited. I would get holding a power position early on. That is important, and I understand that. But holding down offices and initiation, a very easy place to attack from all sides, is overly risky if you see that Boise State are winning their ones, if they're pushing you out effectively. And so now their responsibility will be fall off those angles, retreat back to the actual bomb site where they can eventually deny that plant.
Yeah, and we're going to see Fox go down, but is able to withstand, of course, the ability. CJ and Chibbles are going to take down Juco, and Danny Sherb's going to respond by taking Red off the board. So a 4v3 situation right now, as Fox is going to be basically down to nothing. Of course, we saw him withstand with the ability of Sophia, but right now, right now, TKLV is going to take down Fox, finishing him off. Basically, he had nothing left anyways, regardless. So right now, you're going to have CJ hurt a little bit, but Sherb ate the bullets, is going to be down himself. So right now, Ultraset left to basically fight. 15 seconds left. You got to get a plant down or something, but right now you have to imagine, oh, there's no way that he's able to get a plant down without anyone hearing, as I think we see Chibbles off to the left. TKLV is going to go down. Bullets are going to be raining from somewhere. Oh my god, he doesn't even know where he's going. Oh, but it doesn't matter, as Boomer and CJ are going to finish off Sherb and Ultraset. Oh my goodness. Exciting end to that, but Michigan Tech needed that round.
They did. Without that round, it would have gotten quite dangerous, especially for them on their own map pick. Just to remind everybody at home, it is their map pick. This is the one we would expect them to be stronger on. And that round will narrow the deficit to 1. It will keep them in this fight, and it will allow them to rotate back down to Armory and Throne Room. Now, the big difference, and something we touched on in the middle of that round, was the fact that they needed to, Michigan Tech defense needed to rotate back to the actual bomb site when it came down to the wire. And this time they did it. And this time they won the round. I do not think that is simply a coincidence. I think that decision to back off of initiation and offices was the key moment where Michigan Tech found the round under their belt, where they found their way to crawl it back in. The IGL, whoever that may be, made a very good decision there. They saw that they had the edge for the entirety of that previous round that Boise State snagged in that miracle clutch. But what they realized is that, okay, let's make that small adjustment. We had them for the most part. Let's just not throw away that round when it's so close, when we're almost having it. And so that is exactly the change they made. It worked for them. They are 4-5 now. They got that round under their belt, and they are looking to use that momentum to take this Armory Throne Room site with a similar fortitude.
Yeah, and of course they are probably going to change their play styles, especially after having a positive reaction after, you said, rotating back to site with more efficiency and not stringing yourselves out too far. Keep in mind, Boomer they started out in this one before, and they were able to, Boomer was able to deter the diffuser twice. So I think you have to feel happy if you are Michigan Tech, or at least optimistic about what you're going to do. Of course, we're going to see Red, who has switched to the alibi, is probably going to be sticking there, at least we've seen so far, to the extent of being that roamer. And CJ, I believe, is also taking on the role of being a roamer. Red laying down shots, laying down alibis as well. But right now, we're just going to see how well Boise State can take care of the roamers of Red and CJ, because those guys right there are going to be thorns in the side of the Boise State attack, as we're going to see the attack coming from the east off from Dragon Stairs. Of course, that's probably going to be free real estate, because they're probably going to be turtled up inside of Throne Room and Armory.
But we see this same technique that CJ and Red are employing on this vertical extension. They're playing well backed off over in daycare. They're not directly contesting this initial clear. It's something that worked perfectly last time because the time delay was everything. And now, seeing their checkpoint on that clock achieved, CJ and Red have now backed off those vertical positions, are now rotating back onto the site to support the rest of the team. But that means that Sherb will now be able to go for the vertical play. The breaching hammer will do what it does best, break the floor and turn it into Swiss cheese below. And now Sherb will have a line of sight onto any potential anchors. Fox will be assisting that as well, but is primarily concerned with a persistent roamer lurking above. Nobody will be doing that, as of course we all watched as CJ and Red rotated away downstairs, but these alibi holograms have got Fox a bit worried and a bit nervous and a bit antsy about what is to be expected. As such, the time is not there, and nor will Sherb, as the shots from CJ will rain true, find their target, and Sherb is down for the count. 40 seconds are all that remains, and 4 attackers are all that remains to get this push going in this closing moment.
Yeah, and we're gonna see a nade come down from above. Fox is gonna eat some bullets, so as Boomer's gonna be back in his position. Not as the same as the last time we were on this site, but basically the opposite side, if you will. So Boomer takes a little bit of damage. Juco's gonna go down as Chibbles takes his head off. That's all right though, is because the diffuser gets picked up immediately by Danny. Danny takes some damage, so I'm not sure what up, but he's done forever. And then Danny is gonna actually, I'm sorry, Danny's gonna go down. I thought CJ was going to finish up the kill there. Red's going to take out the last two, and Boise State is going to basically allow a flawless round. So Michigan Tech needed that after the blunder we watched has responded greatly after that blunder.
That they have 2 rounds in a row. They're not going to let that potato fest get in their heads, and it does not seem like they did. Now we're sitting at 5-5, and now the momentum is in the hands of this Michigan Tech defense. Not only is it easier to defend, but it's easier to defend when you've got the confidence on your side, now that Michigan Tech have found back-to-back rounds. So going ahead into initiation and office, the site that it appears that Michigan Tech have avoided like the plague thus far, we're going to have to see exactly what kind of setup they bring to the table, or if the setup is going to look very similar to that bunk and daycare hold that they've also been bringing on those a few rounds prior.
Yeah, and I think they're done doing the, okay, hey, we're gonna extend out so far, and then we're gonna like, oh, this isn't actually where our site is. So now they're gonna probably reinforce a little bit more. As you see, the Goyo is gonna be a really big part there, as that intersection above Yellow Stairs and Arcade is used quite a bit. So right now, I think you have to just, I don't know, stick to your guns right now. You just talked about JZ, them having the confidence, Michigan Tech, to defend here and trust yourself. We see Red still going with the alibi. I trust Red in that instance. I don't know Red, but we've seen so far that, hey, we can do this. I can use this operator. I'm able to stifle the attack, because we saw last match, the attackers were just confused sideways, left and right, because they were worried about roamers sitting up there on that second floor. Of course, we are now on the second floor again, so we'll see if there are any type of roamers that will maybe be on the bottom floor, but more unlikely they will not be, because a vertical attack is very important in this map.
Yeah, the vertical play will be important because that is, of course, where the attackers will begin their entrance from that roof on down. And Boomer, at least, is going to be hoping to capitalize on some vertical play as well. A pre-placed nitro cell now on the ceiling will enable him to possibly get something cheeky if the information is received and delivered by his teammates. CJ is the one to provide that intel, looking towards this upper arcade window. And Boomer, careful to get that cross, will also eliminate some drones along the way. So sitting here pretty in round number 11, Michigan Tech are looking to continue that defensive success and are doing so by simply locking down this entire top floor. We see that extension. This time, it's not from daycare over to initiation, it's from initiation over to daycare. You see that cafe wall, fully reinforced, a deployable shield put here facing cafe, making this approach even harder. And Boomer gonna challenge on that, but will not find any shots. Sherb gonna take a bit of damage, but nothing lethal just yet.
Yeah, we're going to see CJ making his way back to the bottom of the map. We're going to see maybe him. Oh, and we're actually going to see Danny take care of Red as Red was peeking out the window. I thought it was an alibi not moving there for a second, but unfortunately it was the real Red. We're going to see the prism still in effect, though, as CJ takes care of Fox. So Red, still from the grave, gets the kill, as we're going to see a kill go down from Chibbles, and Juco is going to take care of CJ in response. So everything even right now here as teams reside. We've hit the minute mark here. Boomer holding in daycare. Oh, we are very close to a battle, as we see right here. TKLV is going to take down Ultra Set. Boomer's going to take down Juco. Diffuser is down. Danny is left with a very tough task right now as bullets fly through the breach hole. Not connecting on anything, though. Oh, unfortunately, he's going to be walking through a gunfire. But Danny is able to kill Boomer, and the diffuser is going to be in his hand, in his possession. But is he going, which side is he going to pick here? B or A. He's going to have to look around here because he is basically walking into a death trap of a crossfire, unless he opts to go through the breach hole there.
A
But I'm
bomb has
surely
been
he
located.
understands that there's going to be a defender waiting for him there.
15
Bullets
seconds
fly
remaining.
at Danny. Danny down to very little health here, and
10
he's
seconds
going to
left.
get the kill on TKLV. So we've seen this done before tonight already. Health doesn't matter as
5
long as you're
seconds
able to
remaining.
click on a head, you will be fine. But Chibbles,
Attackers are
we've
activating
talked about this
diffuser.
before. We do not want to see Michigan Tech throw this one away, and Chibbles says, "Forget that. No potato fest here." He takes care
Defenders
of
have
Danny.
eyes on the
Michigan
diffuser.
Tech goes up
Attackers need to
6-5.
Ooh, well, Michigan Tech are getting eerily close to throwing another round, but thankfully for them, Chibbles would be the one to clutch it up, stuck to his guns, decided to not push into that dangerous situation and allow the Nomad Danny to hop off the diffuser and go for the kill. Simply played the retake because they suspected that the Nomad was very low HP, and that suspicion would be fully correct. 1 HP was all Danny had to his name, and there was nothing much that he could do when Chibbles flicked right onto his noggin. So a brilliant retake from the Valkyrie, and a retake that now enabled Michigan Tech to have their eyes set on match point. It is 6-5. Only one more round is needed, and Theme Park will be theirs. And on Bunk and Daycare, the site that has gone both ways, we really can't predict which way this one is going to go on this third attempt now for Michigan Tech. First time, we saw an unsuccessful defense. The second time,
Attackers need
it
to
looked a
locate and
bit more
defuse as many
successful.
bombs
They
as
were
they
able
can.
to lock that one down and get it going.
Yeah, and I believe the key for Michigan Tech here is not extending out too far. I know we've talked about it multiple rounds, but not extending, not showing the smoke and mirrors that they did when they held up an office and initiation. So right now we see kind of that again, but that's common. But they're just putting utility there. But right now I have to imagine they're gonna
Bomb
hunker down.
located by
They're gonna
attackers.
play like smart and safe here. You're on the match point. You don't want to go into overtime. I mean, it's not the end of the
10
world,
seconds
but
left.
you want to come out here. You want to come back after the blunder. I mean, think about this, Jay Z.
5
If that
seconds to go.
potato fest doesn't happen, we could be talking. Actually, we'd probably be in break right now, talking about
Attackers'
the
objective
next
is to
match in
defuse the
maybe a
bomb.
mini production talk. So, but right now you have to focus on Michigan Tech here, staying safe, not playing, not overextending. And if you're on Boise State side, you have to basically come fast here and go really quick here and push the tempo because that seems to be the key to how they are winning these rounds.
Well, that key is going to have to now find its way into the hands of Boise State because it has been quite a few rounds since they've last found some success. I mean, they have had a good amount of mid-round success. It hasn't looked like too much of a blowout in these last few rounds, but Michigan Tech are absolutely on another level right now. They've elevated their defense, they've elevated their gameplay, and they're looking to continue that momentum into this match point. But once again, Boise State are going to need to deal with this initiation and office extension. This is an extension that has proved so elusive, and the Michigan Tech now know exactly what they need to do to lock this down. Don't over-aggress like one player will do just then. That will be CJ. Instead, back off the angle once you've got 1 or 2 minutes burned in the round. At that point, you can comfortably retreat onto the site itself, back off of the initiation office extension, and play the clock. Play your lives rather than playing that extension. And now with about 1:30 to go on this round, 90 seconds gone, we are going to see
Bomb
Chibbles
located
do
by
that. We
attackers.
are going to see Red go for an aggressive play, however, and it will find its target, as will the shots from Chibbles. That's 2 attackers gone. That is match point getting ever closer.
Yeah, and it's going to be a 5v3 there. It looks like the extension, though, is working. I know we talked about it being kind of a problem here, but wasting the Maverick Torch on a bomb site on the other side of the map. So that is very interesting how this has worked. They probably going to type in the chat again, you had us fooled. But right now you're going to see Juco, who's been an oh-so-good defender. Oh, if he walks into initiation, though, he's going to find someone on a drone. Oh, that is so unfortunate, but he's going to get taken down himself as CJ puts him down, but it's going to be a 4v2. Fox with very little health is going to be looking around here. Ultra Set is going to take some shots. Chibbles and CJ are going to finish it off. Michigan Tech is going to take Theme Park despite having a very rocky middle part of this match, but nevertheless, Michigan Tech prevails and they get the job done.
Yeah, the job has been completed, at least on map number 1. This was, of course, their map pick. This is not too much of a surprise to see them actually make it happen. But on map number 2, which will be coming up shortly, I am confident that Boise State will have that response. They're going to fight it back. They're going to take the flight to Michigan Tech, and they will be looking to get it going on their side of things. We saw excellent siege from both of these teams. We saw moments of glory and we saw moments of a little bit of disappointment. The Potato Fest does come to mind. But until we can actually see map 2, we're going to have to discuss that a little bit more, but we will do so after a brief break. So stick with us and we will be right back.
In the sky, gazing far into the night, I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are ready to go for map 2, which will be Villa. This is, of course, Boise State's map pick. And like we saw Theme Park play out, I'm sure this one is going to be crazy as well. We saw lots of things happen on Theme Park. It's going to be crazy again as well. And Barrett, thank you for joining me again, sir. How are you feeling after map 1?
Well, I think both these teams are very evenly matched. I think Michigan Tech wanted to get that game done, like or could have gotten that game done quicker. Of course, we talked about round eight, the potato fest, but that's okay. They got the win. That's all that matters. Very important. I think right now, if you're going to be Villa, the roamers are going to be very important. I know we talk about that every map, but I mean, you have the ability to kind of hide and dip and dodge into different rooms and change the course of a round just by having a flank on either side here. So it's going to be interesting to see. I'm very excited as always to be with you, Jay-Z, and to do this. Night is fun, so I'm definitely excited. So I'm ready for this more than ever.
Yeah, and on Villa, I mean, we can read in a little bit and compare it to Theme Park, but Theme Park is one of those dark horse maps that you can't always expect to perform one way or the other, and it's often a map that teams in the collegiate scene aren't as well versed on. And as such, we won't actually get a perfect comparison compared to Theme Park and Villa, but when we go to Villa, it is going to be an absolute scrap fest between these two teams, and we will get a good idea of who actually deserves to go home with the W tonight. And we're not going to have to wait too much longer. We're going to send it right into the matchup. And Barrett, if there was one thing on Theme Park that tracked to this map of Villa, maybe it's the roam, maybe it's the anchor style of play, what would you say that is?
Definitely the Roams. Of course, two oddball maps I think we get to see tonight, both theme park and and Villa. Not really ones that are really showcased. Those are the ones who they're kind of left to the sideline or left to the side, really not really brought into play here. But it's a good test to these teams. Of course, it's good to have content here to show everyone, hey, these teams can do this here. But I think roamers are going to be important more than anything, just because you have an ability to change, or you have an ability to flank from multiple staircases, from blue to red. I mean, you got all the way back to brown up there on the top. So it's going to be interesting to see, but I'm excited.
Yeah, me as well. And with that Jackal ban on the board, you mentioned it, the roam game. It is going to be ever present here on Villa and Ace. Those Selma charges won't be a factor as well, but just like Theme Park, Villa is a huge map with a copious amount of buffer rooms. And what buffer rooms are rooms that are simply between the site itself and the exterior of the map. When you make your entrance, how much space do you need to clear to get to your destination as an attacker? And Villa is one of those maps that works a lot like Theme Park in its size, in the way that you can extend to the other side of the floor, even extend vertically, as we will see on all of these bomb sites. And with Valkyrie off the table, no intel on that side of things, and Mira gone as well, you're going to deny intel and deny those black mirrors for being placed in extreme power position, be detrimental to even the strongest attacking forces. And with Michigan Tech electing to start on defense, it is them who we will have to see where they choose to set up and how they choose to set up as we get started in map number 2.
Yeah, and I think the Valk is got to be a target band of Chibbles. All defense. Chibbles, I believe, played Valk the entire time. So I think a target ban, also an intel ban, because I think that's the name of the game. Ultimately, if you know where your opponent is, it's easier for you to have the first step in that instance. So
Attackers need to
big
locate and
factor
defuse the
taking
main
Ace
bomb
off the
if they
board though
can.
too, because in multiple cases you can just repel out a window and throw a Selma charge through the window onto a reinforced wall, which is huge to open up line of sights. But unfortunately, we will not see that tonight, as we see both sides. I'm sorry, the site starting off the night is going to be Aviator Games, a very powerful site, defender heavy, of course, but also very easy to attack if you know how to break it down if you are an attacking Boise State team.
10 seconds
Yeah,
remaining.
and this beginning of the attack, it's going to be all about that horizontal
5
clear.
seconds left.
Every
No
time you
insertion.
go to either Trophy and Statuary or Planes and Games,
Attackers
AVG,
are
whatever you
moving
want
out
to
to
call
locate
it,
a
the
bomb and defuse it.
extension to either the north side or the south side of the map is so important. That's exactly what we're going to see Boomer and Red on this extension for now. Boomer looked like he was going to apply some reinforcements, but thought better of it, rather electing to play a bit closer to the chest, a bit more located directly on that site. So that's going to allow these attackers to work their north to south boa constrictor approach to this site with a little more ease. But it also means there's more utility and more defensive pressure to deal with on the site itself when you arrive there.
Yeah, and commonly teams do a
Bomb located
master
by
bedroom
attackers.
take, or blue astronomy, because more than likely it's the opposite side of the map, but more than likely teams are not going to be extended out that far into these certain areas. Now, that does not denote a roamer from being there, but as we can see right now, there isn't really anyone out here occupying trophy room at all. So right now you're going to be okay. Of course, we see people on red 90 out there in the classical hall. Chibble's trying to get a little bit close, destroying a drone. But I think right now, if you look at MTU, where they're set up, other than Red, who's downstairs, so already bringing the roam into effect, right now they're just playing very close to sight. And there's nothing wrong with that, especially in the first round.
Yeah, now with 90 seconds burned already, you have to take a look at how much progress a Boise State attack has made. And I gotta say, it's not all that impressive what's gone on right now. We don't see attackers working their way into 90 just yet. Fox is a little bit wary of pushing up into 90, as is JUCO, and for good reason. Red is lurking in Classical Hall and is taking out these attackers one by one. Ash, Sherb, the first player to fall and a big player to lose so early on. And with the time slowly ticking away, Red is making his presence felt even more so, now rotating around for a potential flank. Danny now on 90 window, hoping to allow the team to pressure up and get that vault wall open, but with the time ticking away, this is going to have to happen soon. JUCO's going to start things off, get that exothermic charge down. TK not going to try the bandit trick simply because it is too little too late. But Red on the flank finds one, finds two. That's JUCO and Ultra Set gone. Now he's going to look for a third, gets the flick, headshot delivered. That's another. Only one player remains, and Red wants it badly. But Danny will find one, looking for another, but it's the Alda. All 81 bullets are being poured at the window, and Danny can't do much but stare at this hallway and pray that he won't be blown sky high by the nitro cell. Red wants it, but I don't think Danny is going to even bother to swing on in. It is hopeless. It is impossible, and a brilliant Michigan Tech defensive round to start things off.
Yeah, and just we talked about right at the start of us coming back from break, the flank game is already in effect. Round one, Red coming all the way back. It looked like he had went down through Piano, and I think he had came all the way like on the other side of the map to snake back up through Red stairs there to get the kills there. As Boomer laughs, says something smirky in the chat. But yeah, crazy good play by Red. I think he's going to try to replicate that. Ash even brought out the key thing was Ash Sherb bringing out the Claymore to deter roamers. Of course, we saw Sherb go down right away, so there wasn't a Claymore on the field for that. So just another key point of emphasis right there that helped Michigan Tech win.
Well, I think I was actually mistaken there. I do believe I was saying that the Red on that Jaeger was hunting for the 4K. It was actually, he already had the 4K. All of the picks on that round were on Red's shoulders. He got it all. The first pick onto the Ash, and then 3 picks on that Red stairs flank. And honestly, I'm a little bit surprised that Red was able to get that flank off. You have a Nomad, you have air jabs, and you got to place one on that Red landing to prevent, or at least to learn when a defender is coming up that staircase. And maybe there was one there, maybe Red shot it out. But regardless, it was a good flank that the attackers simply could not counter. Red got 4 kills, no deaths to his name, simply a perfect performance starting things out from the Jaeger alibi main. And now going into round number 2, we rotate over to Trophy and Statuary, and we're going to have to see exactly if there will be this extension over to the south side, and if so, how strong will it be?
Yep, and we already see Red going back downstairs, so that must have been his avenue of ability to move back or move undetected swiftly. That way he was able to get the flank off. So maybe that was why the air jabs were unable to connect. Of course, we saw one go on blue. We did not see one go on Red landing. Of course, we couldn't know that he had shot it out. Of course, you talked about that. So right now, if you're going to look at Boise State, yes, you got the penetration that you wanted. You wanted to get to the vault door. You had the Thatcher grenade. I don't think we talked about that at the top, where this Thatcher is usually banned always. In this case, is not going to be banned. So the ability for teams now to throw an EMP grenade, destroy wall denial, or at least, I'm sorry, not destroy it, but stop it for a brief moment is huge. We're going to see Danny, though, focusing on the Maestro, the Eagle-Eye Cam. So there's an air jab. Oh, very important. Boomer's going to go down to Sherb, takes care of him. Fox is going to go down to Sherb's going to take one. And then Chibbles is going to, refrag there. So Chibbles and Sherb are both going to go down. Danny is going to go down. CJ is going to throw a beautiful nitro cell over the wall to get Danny. So, and now it's going to be a 3v2 in favor of Michigan Tech. They are going to get the wall. We are sitting up in closet. JUCO, though, is going to be looking to get a flank off, though. It's not going to know about it because of the barbed wire there. Great placement. That was placed by Red. So now Red is going to be running into the face of JUCO. So now they know the man is outside. The diffuser is in possession of Michigan Tech. So right now, it is going to be a very tough task for Ultraset. But we have seen things like this happen already tonight. So I'm not counting anything out just yet. Their bullets are exchanged back and forth, but if you're Ultraset right now, you are going to have to slowly pick someone off one by one. I wouldn't repeat that because that is what happens. CJ takes care of Ultraset, and round 2 goes in favor of Michigan Tech.
Well, a back and forth round characterized by some star plays from everyone on both of these rosters, but CJ bringing it back for Michigan Tech when it started to look so dire. We saw Sherb go for the Hail Mary rush play from the other side of the site, and it really didn't work out too well for the Ash, finding 2 frags, but eventually traded back, and the team simply could not recover from that deficit. Now, something that you talked about, Barrett, but I do want to talk about a little bit more is the presence of the Thatcher. It is a huge deal to have a Thatcher in play because we do not ever get to see, it seems, the SAS brethren in play. We don't see that operator used all that often because he is banned every single map. And with a Thatcher on the table, it makes things a lot easier for attackers to get the pressure onto the site. You can take care of that hard breach denial and you can get it dealt with. But right now, despite having a Thatcher, Boise State seem to be struggling to get much headway into the sites. There have been a couple of big plays, but none of it has got a lot of traction. None of it has been huge in terms of momentum, in terms of during the round, actual speed you're getting onto that site. It hasn't worked out too well. So we're going to have to see them use that Thatcher better. We're going to have to see them improve that a little bit. But staring down a clash now, as Boomer has brought that to the table, it is still going to be quite a challenge.
Yes, we saw last on Theme Park, last map, CJ bringing the Amaru. Of course, I was informed by the chat, the 2.5 scope was the reason that Amaru was brought, and now we're going to see Boomer bringing a Clash. So a different bit, a mix of operators. I like to see the change up. Of course, Clash, we all know, a shield, but has been nerfed a little bit to the extent if you do hit it or shoot a Cali bullet. There's no Cali on the, on the field right now, but does create an animation where you are able to lay some shots down on Clash to kill her. But right now, if you're Boise State, I think you need to get some more intel. You have the ability to destroy some of this, or not destroy, but get walls. I mean, you're able to create entries for your team. I think it's all about you just getting to the wall then, because right now you are unable to do that. It's just been misfortunate. Of course, there has been some weird timing. But right now, you're going to have to kill the roamers, and you're going to have to get to the wall in order to give yourself an ability to take a round from the Michigan Tech defense.
And normally you'd see the attackers go for this vertical control. You get top-down pressure, you establish the vertical angles onto the site, and you cascade on through from there. But what we're seeing right now is an interesting approach. They're entering from the southwest side, over in reading and the library area, living room and library, and they're using that pressure to mount that single floor clear. The vertical extension is actually not happening for this attack, and because of that, Red and CJ can use the vertical angles to their advantage. Danny and Sherb are already up in Memorial right now. This is something that you don't usually see. Defenders still upstairs and attackers content to hang out in Memorial. Red can see the Ash right now, but not seizing the opportunity. The holographic scope is just going to block the sightline for so long, and Red is not capitalizing, but rotating around to try to find some shots, but can't do so in time. Danny and JUCO found kills, and Red is now stuck all alone on this vertical hold. Chibbles is going to make things easier by taking down JUCO outside of that Memorial push, but it's going to get ever harder. Chibbles going to try to find something with a UMP, but it's slow firing, and it is brutal to use. Red will assist the process, though. Sherb is cut down. Now Red looks for Danny, but the 416 will not land its shots true. Now we're sitting in a 3v3, and with only 30 seconds to go, Danny will no longer be on this earth. It's Ultraset and Fox left to carry the rest of the work with only 20 seconds left.
And we're going to see the great play by Red here. Is he still going to have vertical control? Is he going to vault over? He had to have seen the top of Ultra Set there walking into sight. I mean, I don't even know. I don't think they know. Maybe they do. Red, it seems like he's flipped sides here. So Red is, oh, CJ's going to fall down. Red's not going to know. I'm sorry. Red is going to die. Ultra Set's going to give him the knife. And so now, but there's going to be no time left as Michigan Tech is able to deter the defuse there. Sorry, I get the people mixed around playing ops, but yeah, great win for Michigan Tech.
A fantastic win for them and a bizarre kitchen attack. That is one I've been casting for a good amount of time. I've seen quite a bit of these kitchen attacks, but I don't think I've honestly ever seen that kind of approach, allowing the vertical play from the defenders to just have free roam of the vertical play, have free roam of that top floor, and allow them to shoot you in the back of the head while you're trying to execute a memorial push. Brilliant work there from Michigan Tech to be conscious of the memorial push and to actually prep above the reinforcement to allow Red to look through the atrium and get an angle there. Had that not been prepped, it would have been a very different game. Red would not have been able to assist. It would have been a full memorial push and a push that was struggling to actually be stopped by Michigan Tech. So I gotta say, Boise State's attempt there was a valiant one and one that looked like it was gonna go pretty well, but at some point, if you're not gonna deal with the vertical play, it is going to bite you in the back. And that is exactly what it did there. That is exactly why Michigan Tech find themselves 1-2-3, a clean sweep.
Yeah, and you talk about the vertical control, like that is the key. Like you are not wrong whatsoever. That is the key. I mean, if you have the high ground, you are able to shoot down. You're forcing basically the attackers to look up at you, but then also have to worry about 2 points of contact from basically on their level and then above. Whereas if you're all alone up there, you can just peek from different areas. You're able to shoot down into spots, especially a very cleverly crafted holes that they had created above their reinforced walls. So a clean sweep for Michigan Tech. That's okay. Going back to Aviator Games, where we saw here that Boise State actually had the highest chance of winning the game if it wasn't for the 4K basically by Red there. So be mindful of flanks this time if you're Boise State, but right now you were able to get to the wall last time on vault, but this time you're going to have to worry about the flank.
And we're seeing, AVG played once again. You mentioned it perfectly. And we're seeing Red be so potent. Once again, you've lost your Nomad. You've lost the ability to place any more air jabs. The Vigil free roam of this map. And it is quite powerful so far. What a play. And now Boomer looking to find some pressure here. Possibly a rotation, main stairs, just to relocate and make it even more challenging for the attackers to deal with him. I mentioned the attackers, and the only attacker I can see right now is Sherb, trying to do a solo play here in study, and now a push all the way up into the site. Seizes an opportunity, but the attackers, they cannot be there to support him. And CJ will shut it down just like that. An ill-advised rush attempt. It feels like Boise State are on their last efforts here, despite it only being this 3-round deficit. They've been down like this before. They know they can crawl it back. Why is it getting so desperate for them? A solo rush was not the play. And now with the Malusi on these red stairs and the pressure is mounting from this trophy side, it is going to be even more challenging to get this direct site push going.
Yeah, the ill-advised run out as we're going to see Boomer go down as Juco is going to finish him off as Boomer had very minimal health. I'm sorry, what happened? Bullets from below? I'm not entirely sure what transpired there. Yes, Red doing his flank job yet again. Was able to get kills, or I'm sorry, to get enough bullets down on the ground in order to get Juco to prevent him from using his exothermic charge in order to blow up the vault wall. So now we're going to see a lot of flanks happening here as Red's going to be coming up the back stairs, I think, or I'm sorry, that may be Chibbles. No, that is Red coming up the back side here in order to get another flank on the other side of Red 90. So interesting play here. Oh, he's very close. Red is just looking to continue his streak of flanking as he is able to get 2 kills so far this round. And he's going to get 1, but that is okay. He used the one he downed. Juco finished him, so wall to entry is done. Chibbles is going to take down Fox. Ultraset's going to take down CJ. Doesn't really matter. Oh, he doesn't have any health at all as Chibbles is going to finish him off. Only needed 1 bullet. And Michigan Tech continues to keep up the rounds and everything else here. But another rotation so far here. Aviator Games has been defended twice. So I mean, if you're Boise State, the solo runout is not the key, but you need to figure out something because this is getting ugly pretty quick.
It is. This pressure from Michigan Tech is absolutely relentless. They do not seem to be slowing down. They are looking to go ahead and try to take the clean defensive sweep. But we're sitting at 4-0 now. 2 rounds for Boise State here would be considered a job well done here on generally the defensive sided Villa. So if they can mount this pressure, if they can shift things around to get this one going,
Diffusers protect the
maybe
bombs
it
from
can
leaking
change in
inside
their
assets.
favor. But now, Barrett, is the time I'm going to give my spiel about adaptability. I do it every time because it is absolutely essential for teams to be able to change up their strategy on the fly in relation to what they are presented with by their opponents. That ability is what separates the good teams from the better teams, from the tip of the top, the crop, the cream of the crop, the best teams out there. If you are going to beat the big teams, you need to be able to
10
pivot.
seconds left.
You need to be able to learn from your mistakes in a previous round and make an
5
active
seconds left
change
before
rather
insertion.
than simply making the same mistakes over and over again. And for
Attackers need to
Boise
locate
State,
and defuse
rather
the
than
bomb.
making positive changes, things seem to be crumbling. They need to take a breather. They need to step back, realize what's going on, and find a way to change what they are doing and get this Michigan Tech team fighting on the back foot for the first time, because they have not been on the back foot yet. They have been on the front foot. They have been aggressive. They have been calculated and confident. And you need to stall that confidence if you want to take this one back if you're Boise State.
Yeah, and JC, I was just about to ask where I don't know if that was ever showcased your adaptability speech, which is very helpful and I absolutely love because I think I need to get a spiel somewhere as we see Danny is going to take down Shivels. I don't really have one now that I think about it, but Shivels is going to go down. That doesn't matter though, as the Malusi is still has or Banshee's out, so she is still going to be doing her job. Though a gun is taken off the board, we're going to see Danny place an air jab, so that is very important to deter the flank, which has been basically the story of the match right now. Is we're going to see Red basically doing just that. So we're going to wait and see what happens. Almost a minute. I'm sorry, just over a minute has ran off the clock here right now. So Red, we're going to see if Red is going to see the air jab. I do not think he's going to have any way a potential to even do that right now. I think that maybe that's on the wall right there. Never mind. I thought it was put closer. No, it is not. I don't know what that is up on the wall. I think it was maybe just a piece of a gun. Somehow he is able to know about that right there. So, but that doesn't matter as Red goes down. Very interesting to see Fox just take care of Red. That was a weird exchange. But right now it's going to be in favor of Boise State. First time we've been saying that this map right here. So it's a 5v3. If right now, if you are Michigan Tech, you're just going to be turtling up. CJ holding on, basically a pixel using this deployable shield from Master Bedroom. What a kind of a cheeky spot here, if you will. Right now, it's kind of slow here. I think Michigan Tech, or I'm sorry, Boise State needs to get going here, though. You are in a man advantage. You might as well make something happen here right now. So we're going to see just time basically stop. And I think you're going to have to worry about, I'm sorry, you're going to have to worry about CJ sitting there on Master Bedroom in order to really secure this win right now. Wow, the no head pops up from blue stairs. Danny's going to take down Boomer. Fox is going to go down himself, and so is Danny, but Juco's going to take care of TKLV, and so the plant is now on. First time we've seen it tonight on this map. Right now, CJ is sitting here. CJ is able to take down Ultra Set. Wow, this is happening right now. Sherb and Juco. CJ's going to take down Sherb. Gonna have to just find one more.
Oh
No, he
my
does not.
goodness.
No, he does not. CJ does not just take care of that right then and there.
Attackers need to protect
Wow,
the
that's all I gotta say. Ridiculous. All he has to do is left the plant searching around for claymores. He is not gonna find one. Not to worry about that. Wow, CJ is gonna take care of it. Monster from CJ and Red so far tonight. That's gonna extend the lead to 5-0. That is an excellent play.
Good night, Boise State, says CJ, and absolutely sauces on them. That was 3 perfect headshots. The SMG-11 doing its work. Sniper 11 coming out in chat there from Boise State, and for good reason, because that was a brilliant retake from CJ. The 1v3, he says it was easy. He made it happen. And delivered Michigan Tech to an unexpected 5-0 half. And heading back to dining room and kitchen, they are on the precipice of a 6-0 flawless half. Boise State in desperate need of the adaptation. However, Barrett, we saw them do it almost perfectly in that last round. They made the change of committing all of their resources and manpower to the roam clear. They were not going to let Red and they were not going to let Chibbles extend that offsite pressure and be a thorn in their side. They deliberately and calculatedly shut them down, but it didn't seem to matter. DJ, the player left alive in the end, was too much to be dealt with. And now Boise State are faced with the same predicament they were a couple of rounds ago. Go for the vertical clear or send it straight into Memorial and fall face first into your 6-foot graves.
Yeah, and honestly, if you're Boise State, you can't ask for more. You get the kill on I'm sorry, on was it Red? Yeah, Red, who was the main flanker, has been the person who's been flanking, continues to be the person who's probably going to flank this round. You get the pick on him, and you got to be happy about it. Right now, it looks like Michigan Tech is doing a type of, I don't know, defense here on top. I don't know if they know about the bomb, but it looks like an extension similar to what we saw on Theme Park to maybe deter someone from thinking, oh, this site is up here in Trophy and Statutory. So interesting play there, but of course they can't go back to it. So I'm not sure why they're going to do this. Of course, you're just going to have the presence above like you did, but I have to imagine Boise State is going to commit more resources to a vertical take as opposed to just going a very linear attack.
Well, it seems that Fox is going to go for some linear pressure again. Danny and Sherb will not be doing that. They will be pressuring from above on that master side, but the rest of this attack is focused on this first floor. Normally, you'd want to pressure all of your most of your resources on this clear to make it go down as efficiently as possible, but Sherb and Danny are hoping that they can do it all on their own. But lo and behold, there is Red, a hungry Jaeger wielding the 416, happily awaiting around the corner, and is looking for the picks, but he's going to look away at the wrong time, finds one, but gets traded. There's one more. Danny's going to look for the shots. The headshot is delivered. Danny's double kill secured, and the vertical extension has been cleared. A brilliant job to deal with it, and a surprisingly successful attempt. Given that they were able to get that clear going and get that pressure mounting, all with even dealing with that extension.
In order to really, yeah, if you're Boise State now, okay, so you took care of Red. But CJ got you last time. Then you took care of CJ one round. Red got you this time. So now eliminate the two guys, the two studs who have taken care of your team so far. I mean, you have to feel good right now for Boise State. Of course, you have to deal with Boomer, who is wielding the class shield right now, who's been basically the name of the game is deterring time and stopping the attack. 40 seconds left on the clock. Got to make a move here. Chibbles and Boomer are going to be holding on site. I'm not entirely sure where TKLV is. Of course, the eagle eye is apparent right now. Oh, it's off in the other room. Okay, I see it now, other than the other bomb site. So right now, we're going to see him holding the China room right here, looking off. Gets stunned, but basically proning kitchen. The Alta's going to eat, and it does. Oh, and he's just missed another pick here. So he's going to go down. Ultraset's going to go. This is the play right there. Juco, Ultraset. Juco finishes it off. That's wonderful. Great job by Boise State. But honestly, kudos to whoever had killed the Maestro, because that was the key to opening up. So great job by Boise State, making it 6-1. I'm sorry, 5-1, and at least you can bring some momentum into your defense after that round.
Yeah, they're going to hope that that momentum switch will solve it for them. Boise State, of course, being the ones I am referring to there. They've got one round under their belt, but they need 4 more now. They need 4 rounds in a row to get this deficit dealt with, and that is going to be tough to do. Of course, they now are on this defensive side. They now have the ability to go ahead and just lock down this site. But with a Michigan Tech team that's showing it is very competent on all sides of this game, even on the attacking side on our previous maps, they are going to be looking to storm ahead and take this fight to Boise State. So we are going to need to see a swift response, a decisive response, and a brilliant defensive performance from Boise State if they want any chance of keeping their playoff hopes alive.
Yes, and it's going to be interesting to see the Amaru, of course. I was aware of it now of having the 2.5 times scope. We're going to see key placements actually of a Goyo shield and red stairs there. I'm sorry, like main stairs is whatever we call it now. But it's going to be interesting to see, of course, if you're Boise State, I mean, this is a defender heavy map. So I think you could, well, I mean, I actually, JZ, what do you think? This is a defender heavy map. It's definitely not 50-50. But I mean, it's definitely defender heavy, right?
Well, it absolutely is. I mean, if you look at Pro League statistics, it will actually surprise you that I think it is just favoring the attackers ever so slightly, just because it's been in the meta for a while. Teams are very familiar with how to attack the tough bomb sites, but at every other level of Siege, there's no world in which this is an attacker-sided map. It is heavily defensive-sided still, and especially at the collegiate level, we will often see splits of this kind. Well, not necessarily as extreme, but very similar. We'll see those 5-1s, those 4-2s, heavily in the favor of the defense. So Boise State can bring this back here, but CJ is looking to make his presence felt very early on. A couple of shots onto JUCO will connect, but they will not be fatal. CJ gonna take a bit of damage, but this main stairs shield is a tough one to deal with. The utility dump is gonna have to come through, and the support from main stairs is gonna be needed for Sherb to survive this push. But if this deployable shield were to stay here, then it were to be a bane in the side of this attack, but it's gonna be blown up, and CJ will find JUCO on the response and now force the top main players to retire that position. They'll be forced back onto site. Fox will reposition over out on Red Landing, and now the attackers are going to continue to mount the pressure. The wall has now been opened up, and now Danny is in a brutal position, hoping to get a Hail Mary play, but Chibbles denies it. The 5.56 lands its shots true. Only 3 defenders remain. Sherb will find one, keeping them in this fight. Ultra Set looking for another, but can't do it. CJ now pushing up this hallway. Fox the next to be pressured out. The C4 gonna rain on down, but will not connect. It will! Ultra Set with a double, and all of a sudden, Michigan Tech are all but dead. Fox a double kill. Red has been taken down, and Boise State, out of nowhere, bring the round back and take the win.
So we're gonna see Red and CJ. We saw Red and CJ have the flanking ability. Of course, flanking comes in different shapes and sizes. So we're gonna see Fox come out with the Goyo and flank around Red 90 to kill. Basically, I think he had 2 there. Had the nitro cell, had the kill, had the person down. So a great job by Fox, making it 5-2. You know, keeping the team off of match point is important because now you have a little bit of air to mess around with. But right now, if you're Boise State, you got to feel happy. You got that win. Though the first one was sloppy, this one was a little bit better. Now you have to keep building momentum one by one. You're going to trophy and statutory right now. So I think you can pull out your strats for that. Maybe hold up in the closet, have a deployable shield, have some ADSs in there. We're not going to, yeah, we'll see a Jaeger and a Wamai. So the utility will be protected. I'm sorry, either protected or destroyed. So you're able to at least hold up in certain areas. So I think Boise State, build on the momentum you have right now. But if you're Michigan Tech, you want to, I don't know, just hit your shots. I think you had the ability to win that round. I think it was just the close groupness. The nitro cell obviously was the main factor of the round. But I think, keep what you're doing, Michigan Tech. I think you can get the result that you want.
But now over to Trophy and Statuary. This is a tough site to attack. So Michigan Tech are going to need to try to emulate that early success, but not let themselves be absolutely overcome by some brilliant play from Fox and Ultra Set, which characterized round number 7. And getting this attack going, just like Plains in games, there are often 2 main approaches to this site. Do you want to go for the full site clear, approach from the study side, the south side, and work your way north towards landing? Or are you going to send it straight into Master and go for a direct site push, very similar to a direct study push that sometimes can happen on the Aviator side as well? This often depends on how much utility you're going to have to deal with on both extension. Are there roamers over all the way in study side? Is there a closet extension or is it all reinforced off? And we can see perfectly here through the eyes of Fox, there is no player in closet, there is a player in bathroom. That's going to be Fox holding this down, and the attackers are sending it straight on into Master. They don't want to deal with that utility. TK is going to be the first player to challenge, but Fox is standing up on top of a sink and is looking to get some pressure felt here, looking to get aggressive, but the aggressive positioning is not going to be known, or at least actually it will be known. It appears Boomer knows exactly where Fox is positioned, and now they just have to swing him and get this pre-fire going.
Yeah, and Fox, I don't think he knows. Yeah, I don't think his position was known. TKLV is going to go down from Fox in a very cheeky spot here, sitting on top of the sink. So right now, he does know that Boomer did walk as he heard him run across the terracotta roof. But right now, Sherp's going to be peeking back and forth here. So, yeah, oh, so we're going to see Danny's going to take down Red. Danny's actually going to take down Boomer as well. So now the momentum is back in the favor. Sherp's going to take down Chibbles. The momentum is in favor of Boise State right now, as CJ, left with half health, is out here on the roof of the bedroom, and probably will left. All he's got to do is drone out. Of course, the diffuser is not in his possession, as we know, but right now, I think he's either going to have to play a very slow game, or he's going to have to go in fast and heavy and hit all of his shots, as we have previously seen from earlier rounds when he was on defense. Right now, not really sure what he is doing. He is looking around, obviously, for intel. Maybe he is opting with his team that he is not going to go in there, similar to what we saw earlier in the round from Boise State. Hey, what are the odds? Let's save the KD. I'll look cooler in the end.
It's also a great moment to review what just happened with your team. You don't often get an extended breather like this in between the rounds. All you see is a round replay, and then you've got 15 seconds to choose your operator and get going. You can simply just talk to your team, decide what can we do to improve going forward? How can we prevent Boise State from getting another flawless round like the one we just witnessed? They are going to need to change something up massively here, because Michigan Tech just got obliterated in back-to-back rounds, which is not something they are used to after a strong 5-1 defensive performance. And, momentum isn't everything, but it is a large factor here. They are going to likely want to continue this push, and Michigan Tech are going to have a hard time stopping it. So going into round number 9, going forward here, Michigan Tech are going to need to have a response, regroup, refocus, and get this vertical pressure going on dining room and kitchen very quickly.
Yeah, and you talk about that's actually a great point, talking about, hey, like, let's just reflect on what just happened. I'm sure comms are obviously not positive, but it's a learning experience for everyone, of course, to reflect on what happened, because you're right, there is no time for anyone to even just, yeah, you get the kill cam and that's it. So then you have, like, what, 15, 20 seconds in order to, in some cases, to just pick your operators, and then you're doing, hey, do I 6 pick away from this? Then you have to establish, okay, what bomb site are they going to? So yeah, I think just waiting there, and ultimately we saw Fox just kill CJ, who ran in just in the clutches of a crossfire. So, but right now, I think if you're Boise State, look at it, as you can see there, that wall has been utilized multiple times, basically as either a line of sight from above, or it looks like right now it's just going to be to the other side of the room, the library, the reading room area. So it looks like footholds are going to be made. So it's going to be an interesting sight here. I like the setup right now. Allows you to run around here, and you're at least, even if the players are getting in, they don't have too much cover. So right now, if you're Boise State, ride the momentum right now, because once you give it away, then you're going to sit on match point, and that's mentally tough to swallow.
It absolutely is, but given what we've seen from them, I would expect another strong performance here. But it is, of course, the tertiary bomb site. It's a tough bomb site to lock down, and there's no vertical pressure applied by the defense. What that is going to allow is Michigan Tech to go straight on above and get early vertical pressure mounting. Boise State are going for a very interesting hold here. You've got Sherb in living room, double Goyo shields, double ADSs, double reinforcements surrounding the Jaeger, hoping to prevent any push in Memorial for going down. An interesting strategy, but will it save them if the vertical pressure picks off every anchor and a laundry push or a pantry push can successfully come through? Or even a China push, honestly. Sherb is fully committing to this Memorial hold. And with JUCO positioned in there as well, a push from pantry or laundry would absolutely be viable here. And as the vertical play is established, sooner or later, Michigan Tech are going to get the information. They're going to learn there's nobody on the site itself. They're going to learn that a laundry push is absolutely possible here. And so Boise State have to be ready for when that moment happens.
And we're going to see Danny on a flank here. But yeah, having so much utility dumped away from site is interesting. Oh, unfortunately for Danny, he doesn't know about this, but Red does. Danny does have the M590 though. That does back a bunch, but I think right now he is unsuspecting to what's going on. So this is going to be interesting if we're going to see a swing here or not. But it's going to be actually on the other side of the basement here. So we're going to see his position is known, but he doesn't know that. So right now, Red is waiting to see if he comes back down. He's going back to his drone to see if Danny is walking back down to the site. Right now, intel is huge. Great drone spot, by the way, for Red here as we see this. But moving along to the other portion, we'll keep an eye on that, of course. But moving along to other parts of the match here, we're going to see just how well the time stall has been basically for Michigan Tech here. There hasn't really been any engagement whatsoever. Of course, I'm probably about to eat my words, but as we're going to see Boomer take a little bit of damage. But right now, Boise State hasn't. Oh, and we're going to see Fox go down from CJ. And then Boomer's going to go down from JUCO. Red's going to take down Danny. That fight finally went to fruition here. The diffuser is in hand, but is it going to be enough in time here? No, Sherb's going to take down Red, and then, yeah, the defender's going to win here. Sherb's going to take down Red, and time is going to run out here. Very odd attack. You know, as you see Sherb down in the bottom, Jay-Z say, that works? No way, because they dump so much utility off-site. It's just very confusing whatsoever. But it's 5-4 in favor of Michigan Tech, but Boise State getting wins in weird ways.
If you could see my face right now, you would see the look of utter confusion
That's what
on
I'm
my
saying.
face. Because I have absolutely no clue what Michigan Tech was doing. Like, I understand I understand going for a creative defensive setup, but what I don't understand is Michigan Tech sitting on the vertical holes for a minute and a half, not seeing anybody, and waiting until 10 seconds to go on the first floor. I have no idea what the thought process is there. Maybe they were doing a challenge round where they all disconnect from Discord and hope the round goes well. But see, I don't think that's the best approach to that round. That is clearly something went horribly wrong for them there. I can't put my finger on it. I am still absolutely shook because I still can't figure out what they were doing, but whatever it was hardly an effort, hardly an attack. Michigan Tech literally just played into Boise State's hands because all Boise State wanted was a push to come down the Memorial side because Sherb was going to lock down that door like it was the only door on the site. The danger of that, we addressed it earlier, and the positives of that, well, they were kind of unknown until we witnessed what we just did. It was utter confusion on the side of Michigan Tech. They were so confused that they had no idea what to do. Instead, they sat upstairs, they sat on the vertical play, and they did nothing. Eventually, they ran out of time. They went straight into the sights of Boise State, and they got cut down.
Yeah, and I mean, just so many things that happened that game. Because I'm like, wow, time has really gotten away from them, and they never even made a play. And maybe you're right. Maybe they did do a strat. Maybe they did strat roulette, and they just said, hey, let's dump utility off site. Let's not even worry about site. We don't need to worry about it. So interesting to me as we're going to see TKLV and Sherb going at it here in the main hallway, coming off main stairs. Danny, of course, got away very quickly last time. TKLV is pushed up. Got to worry about Danny, though, sitting on the stairs. Red is going to get taken down by Danny, and Danny's going to get refragged by CJ. So interesting play there. So 4-4 all tied up. Health in favor of Boise State. So CJ is going to be rotating around here. Oh, he actually could have, but he just missed JUCO walking across the doorway there. So held up here, Fox maybe trying to recreate the flank so well that he did last time we were on this site. TKLV, though, sitting hurt almost here, but looking to make sure he doesn't see Fox again here. EMP charges are out, and the exothermic charge is going to be out, so the wall is going to be taken by Michigan Tech. Ultraset's going to scamper away in order to to not eat bullets, but he does that anyways. Oh, I'm sorry. Juco goes down as CJ takes care of him. So Ultra Set, Sherb, Fox left here to defend to prevent Michigan Tech from going to match point. We are at almost at the 1 minute mark here. I mean, this is just getting nuts at this point, JZ.
Yeah, it's getting insane, and Michigan Tech are going to have to use that insanity to their favor here. They're going to have to get that going and get this push into sight. Ultra Set not able to find the head of Elusive Boomer and CJ, who are going for that games room plant, and behind the bar, it will go down. Sherb trying to Shiko peek, but gets obliterated as Chibbles finds the head. Only 2 defenders remain, Ultra Set and Fox. And Ultra Set tries to go for the God Magnum play. CJ denies it. CJ gets another one. The Bearing 9 overpowers 2 defenders, and Michigan Tech, round 10, firmly in their grasp, and now all eyes are on match point.
You know, I'm gonna tell you right now that Magnum should have killed him. I mean, he ate every bit of it. It was down to the final health, so he connected. Kudos to him for kudos to Ultra Set for getting the connection with the Magnum, but nevertheless did not prevail. 6-4. Here we are, match point for Michigan Tech. This is playoffs, so anything is possible. But right now, if you're Michigan Tech, close it out. You know, shut the monitors off, shut the computers off. Lay your heads, going to bed, knowing that you are advancing into the playoffs right now. But this is what it takes right now to take trophy and statutory right now. You know, we saw maybe we're going to see an odd formation or an odd defense for you know, Boise State. Again, we saw them absolutely slam Michigan Tech on this site previously. This is when we talked about the 30-second, 40-second wait time before ultimately we saw CJ run in and get killed. But right now, if you are Boise State, you got to feel confident on this side at least, but you got to get to the next one in order to force overtime.
Yeah, overtime is what is needed now for Boise State after they gave that round to Michigan Tech. Honestly, that round was largely just beautifully done from Michigan Tech. There wasn't a particular reason, unlike the previous round where one team failed, where the other team picked up the slack. It was Michigan Tech, a brilliant attack. It was a direct study push, a push that often doesn't work out too well, but with the presence of a Thatcher, these teams don't have to go for the full clear. They can send it straight on through, and the Electro Claw trick almost worked. It got 1 thermite charge, but it couldn't get the second exothermic. The wall was open, the plant went down, and it was over just like that. But now we're headed over to Trophy and Statuary. The AVG site will not be reattempted, and last time we were here, it was the Thatcher, which was used to go for a direct master push, but it was a push that failed miserably. So this time around, Michigan Tech are going to change things up, or at least it looked like they were going to change things up. We've got some drones positioned over here in 90, and then they've realized there isn't any defensive contestation on this side, and they can send it directly onto that site.
Yeah, and you know, we talked about how they slammed them last time here. As we're going to see shots being rained out here from Michigan Tech. So I guess I don't get to do my spiel, but Michigan Tech's going to be getting hurt here as we're going to see TKLV absorbing shots. Juco held up in a wonderful spot here. Basically a pixel. Ooh, he's got to be careful though, because I think he does hear someone down there. Not fairly sure if there is someone down there. Red's going to go in and drone out here. But what I was going to say is I think they're playing a little more off than they did. I'm sorry, Boise State is playing off the site compared to last time, despite having a very good round here on the site. You know, having a basically almost a I think it was a flawless round, actually, now that I think about it. So we're going to see CJ going to be using the Karos pellets and able to open up the castle reinforcement right there. Right now, we're going to see just, I mean, it's interesting. Now everyone's seeming to come back to site, but I think if you're on match point here, you don't want to play too different from what you did last time. So, you know, worry about the flanks, yes, but at the same time, like, they have to come in and kill you or they have to come and plant. So, you know, do whatever you want, but right now I think you just have to play it safe.
Well, Boise State is playing it a bit safe right now, and they are, you know, geared up on this site with your 4 defenders just lurking and just waiting for this push to come through. And because of that, because of all this utility, it is going to be so hard to push on in. TK is going to make things easier by removing the Goyo, killing him by his own shield. TK on a tear now. A double kill, a triple kill as Danny is cut down. Sherb and Ultra Set are all that remains. Sherb finds one, but Ultra Set's going to have to make his presence known as well. Red almost delivers a team kill over to TK, but Sherb, tucked behind the bomb chassis, is simply waiting. TK another, and Red will finish it out. Michigan Tech take round 11. They take the map, they take the series, and they will be moving on in the Premier Invite League playoffs.
Excellent job on Michigan Tech. Of course, I just said Boise State's got to be careful here, but that doesn't matter because right now Michigan Tech did just what they wanted. We saw, saw TKLV with a very crucial 4K in order to commit the win for them. So great 7-4 win. Of course, if you're Boise State, this is the Premier League, so I can't hang your head because both these teams were very good. I think just Michigan Tech had the slight edge. We were worried about them a little bit on theme park, but they overcame that and they overcame adversity here on Villa. So kudos to Michigan Tech. Excellent job. Very good.
An excellent job to both of these teams, but it was a grind. It came down to the wire every single round, it felt like, on Villa, but it was Michigan Tech who emerged victorious. Both of these teams put up a good fight, and I said it going into Villa. Theme Park being what it is, being such a wild card in the pool, you have to go to Villa to see exactly how it's going to shake out, exactly how these two teams are going to compare to one another. And so now we're looking for an interview in the meantime, but before we do that, I mean, you really have to applaud, Michigan Tech and their strats there and their technique there and the way that they really took control of that matchup overall because it was so close, it felt at times, Barrett, to slipping away from their fingers. It was so close to going wrong at certain moments where Boise State was crawling back. They were getting the momentum on their side, but at the end of the day, it was a Michigan Tech who made it happen in the end.
Yeah, and I'm hoping we get Boomer in here. That's who I'm really hoping because I want to talk to him about round 8 on theme park. As we see here, coming up, hopefully we heard someone enter the call, just like to see who it is.
It's
But
Boomer.
it is Boomer. Boomer, my man. Great job. First of all, nice job on tonight. A tough win against a tough Boise State team. But nevertheless, a great job. I wanted to ask you about theme park. You were the recipient of Jay Z and I were calling it the Potato Fest. It was comical, but nevertheless, you guys overcame that moment on theme
Yeah, I'm currently banned from ever playing the TCSG again.
park.
But, you know, I'm okay with that because I never wanna touch that gun again.
Fair enough, fair enough. Talk about that moment. Maybe not just that moment, but you guys, had that moment of adversity, and how you brought that. You were able to overcome that and bring it on to the next map, the next two, the next map, and able to secure the series win.
Well, we started theme park with a 2-4 split. We were kind of frustrated with that. We expect better of ourselves, even against tough opponents. But we knew that it's defensive sided, and we knew that we know what we're doing on our defense. So I think we lost. I think we split 1-1 in the first 2 rounds of our defense half. But after that, we kind of got it together. Yeah, there was the me whiffing after red whiffing after was it Maverick whiffing, and then Ace got the kill, and I was upset, but I shook it out, and we came back, and we ended up winning 7-5. I think that map was, and we were happy with that, definitely.
Yeah, you came away with the 7-4. I think it was 7-4, 7-5 win. So excellent job. Then Jay Z, I'll give you a question, and then I'll allow Boomer to shout out his people.
Sure. Well, Boomer, we had a lot of the good moments, and before we get to the fun part, I do have to ask you about a troublesome round where the basement defense from Boise State, or not the basement, I'm sorry, the kitchen and dining defense from Boise State, where after the round they said, "I can't believe that worked." They had Sherb on the Jaeger playing a double Goyo, double Jaeger ADS support over in a living room, I believe, to lock off Memorial, and you guys got caught up. Your time ran out on your vertical hold. Can you walk me through that round and really tell us what went wrong there?
Well, that was their first rotation of defense, and we were incredibly frustrated because we played Villa a million times. We played Villa against Akron. We've done all right considering it's Akron, and we've played against plenty of other people just to get to where we are. But that whole half of Villa, we were incredibly frustrated, and we go through and we were riding the high of our first half. But that round, um, I personally was just kind of lost. I ended that map 0-8. Don't tell anybody, but um, that whole time, we were doing our default pushes, right? We were getting sledge holes, we were getting just our vertical control, but there was no hole that I could see horizontally. Couches ended up being the correct play once you take care of Jaeger, but um, up until that point, up until the end of the round, I didn't know that. So we had about 30 seconds left. We're all scrambling upstairs, and I just ask, I'm like, all right, where do we want to go? We go and we say laundry, so we try and push into laundry. I tried making that a whole wall, see if we can get better angles on them instead of their one ways, and we end up losing the round. It is what it is. I believe the round after that is the one we took the timeout, where CJ just kind of stayed on the balcony, and we talked things over. Chibbles and I made some adjustments, and we ended up winning 2 out of the next 3 rounds to seal the map.
Well, that's definitely good to hear. I'm sorry about that frustration, but it happens in the course of a game, and you guys did a great job bouncing back from that. Now we're going to cast our vision over to next week. You've got a brutal opponent next. The 2 seed in the Premier Invite League, Texas Tech, is now who you're going to face. Have you done your homework yet, or is it something you're going to be doing for it in this coming week?
It's something that we're going to be doing in the coming week. We take it week by week. We don't want to plan ahead. Obviously, the end goal is hopefully facing Akron in finals. But there are still mountains to climb before we can get there. Um, I know I like to make my pickums true. I have us going all the way. I mean, that's obvious. So, yeah, Texas Tech. Haven't seen much out of them, but I know that they're strong. I know that they're a decent team, and we gotta treat them like you would treat any opponent.
All right. Well, appreciate the answers there. And before we end this interview, Boomer, this is your chance. The mic is yours to shout out your supporters, the people who tuned in tonight to watch you guys play.
First, I want to thank my team for the carry. I really appreciate that. Second, I want to thank Team Dad. So thank you, Mr. CJ's dad, and anyone watching at home supporting us, supporting Boise, supporting CR6. We really appreciate that, and we appreciate what you guys are able to give us.
All right. Well,
Thank you.
Boomer, thank you for joining us in the booth and have a great rest of your night. We look forward to seeing you go forward and we look forward to your match against Texas Tech.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it was quite a night, quite a night of Siege. We had a great doubleheader, and we rounded it off in great fashion. MTU taking down Boise State, so we will see them go further. We will see them continue their ride in the Premier Invite League playoffs. But until next week, until we get to see those matchups, that's going to be it for CR6. I have been Jay's Wills, joined by the wonderful Barrett here on the desk. We had Max as our observer tonight, and we had Tango Mango down, and Nat, our producers tonight, dealing with a whole load of stream issues. So we thank you all watching who are patient with us and have been dealing with all of our technical difficulties tonight. So we hope you all have a fantastic rest of your night, a great weekend, and we will see you next week.